I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in this community, and we don't want you to miss out on anything that's happening that's good for the community. We want to introduce you to a couple of people this afternoon. I'm saying introduce only because there may be some people who don't know who they are and who they work for, but there are a couple of my favorite people working for one of my favorite organizations. And today we have with us Cathy Miller, who's Community Impact Director at the United Way of Madison County. Welcome back, Cathy.
Thank you, Kenny. We appreciate you being here today.
Well, it's always good to have you because, you always bring great information, and I always like to say you come bearing gifts because it's always good stuff for the community. So yes. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks.
Clay Vandiver, it's always good to see you in either that seat or that seat. Doesn't matter which one, because you also come bearing gifts, bringing great information. You're President and CEO of the United Way of Madison County. Welcome back to our broadcast.
Kenny, good to be here. We love the show, and thanks for the exposure that we get. Thank you.
Well, it's always good to have you. And of course, I always want to kind of do a drum roll when you guys come because it's like there's some big announcement, some great program that's being rolled out, some agency that's doing something phenomenal, some good people doing some good stuff, and lots of things going on. I know that earlier this year, you had the big Community Day of Service. I thought I'd start right there because that was pretty big stuff happening this past year.
It was, and thank you, Kenny, so much for stepping up as a partner with the city to help us kick that off, because you and I have had conversations for 2 or 3 years that
that's right.
It's time for this city to not only honor Dr. King by listening about him and hearing about what he did, but to step up and do something because he was so much about service. And so we felt as though we had a very good, broad-based response to needs of seniors on that very first one, and we're going to do it again.
Oh, absolutely. You start small with things, and then you just kind of snowball, and it becomes bigger and bigger. And I know lots of people were looking for opportunities to be engaged, and that's really what this process of the United Way is all about. It's community engagement, and it's advocating for people that need the services that you provide. And Clay, of course, every year there's a big campaign process, and you raise money for this wonderful organization and agencies that provide services, and the community in the end wins because of what's done. Talk a little bit about what you've got going on right now as far as that process is concerned.
Kenny, you're right. What we do every year is we look at the needs of the community, and then we find out from those corporations and companies and individuals out there. We say we raise up the needs and describe what they are, and then we ask them to partner with us to help solve those needs. So we kind of convene those that can help with those that need help. So some small numbers, but big numbers. 543 companies helped us this year and helped the community this year by running a campaign or doing a corporate pledge or both. 390 individuals that we call leadership givers, those that step up and write at least $1,000 check or more, sometimes a lot larger than that. They stepped up this year and did a tremendous job of raising money. And there's just lots of great numbers out there, but we're going to announce in the next day or two exactly what was raised for the year 2015. We're tabulating now. The Redstone Arsenal Combined Federal Campaign had lots of energy wrapping up their campaign. But some stats that we know that came out this year that we're real proud of: 76 companies ran a campaign this year, brand new. We're not out there running a campaign last year or years past. 76 new companies. Wow. So that took a lot of hard work on the staff's part, the board of directors' part, our volunteers, but it was an amazing year.
Yeah. When you say that, one statistic, and you gave a lot of good information there, but 76 new companies, you referenced the great staff, the volunteers that are out there working on a sustained basis to make this stuff happen. This has to make you proud as the leader of this organization, working along people side by side every day, trying to make this community a better place. And I just wonder what impact that has on you as you have those moments of introspection and you're kind of thinking about the work that's being done and the work that has been done in the past, the legacy of the organization, and as you look ahead to the future, just talk a little bit about how you feel in those moments, and what you're thinking about.
I reflected a lot over the last several weeks because it just so happens January the 14th, 15th, I joined 50 other CEOs of United Ways across America, across the U.S., and spent 3 days with them talking about what's happening in their cities, markets, their counties, and then compared that to how Huntsville, Madison County did in terms of results and activity. And not surprising, we're a best practice leader in lots of things that we already do and we started doing over the last 12 months or 2 years or 3 years. So I came back with a really bold chest of really feeling good about Huntsville, the organization, the staff, the board, the volunteers, and the community, because I saw a lot of communities out there that were struggling because of employment difficulties or closing of plants, and they were just such big cogs in the wheels of their campaign, it just hurt them. But Huntsville is diverse, so we can spread the results over a large number of industries and corporations and individuals. But made me awful proud to come back home after spending 3 days out of town and saying, wow, we really have a lot going here in the right direction.
Yeah. And Cathy, you know, every time I talk to you, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
You know, you talk about all of the agencies that are involved in this process, and you talk about the programs that United Way pushes out to the community, one of which, of course, is very appropriate for this time of year because it's tax season. And there is a phenomenal program that United Way offers to the community for people to get tax assistance. Talk a little bit about what that program is.
Great. It's called the CASH program because we want folks to have cash in their pockets to take care of themselves and their families.
That's always a good thing.
Yes, it is. And so this program is designed to help folks make sure they have an easy, simple way to get their tax return filed, and also that they get to take advantage of credits that they're actually eligible for that they may not be aware of. There's an education tax credit that they can get in some cases. There's a child care credit they can get in some cases. There's an earned income credit. And so there are all these credits that individuals may not know about. And that may be, we know, it can be very intimidating. So I believe it's almost 10 years ago, maybe not quite 10 years ago, that we started doing that as part of a partnership with Impact Alabama and AARP. The IRS certified volunteers that work with us, most of them have some kind of accounting or CPA background. They really are experts. And we had our first day yesterday. So we want to encourage folks, if you're making $54,000 or less as a family, or if you're making $25,000 or less as an individual, or if you're a senior citizen over 60, period. No matter what your income is, if you have a simple return that doesn't have a lot of details, maybe a business or a lot of complex investments and that sort of thing, then we can help. And it's a simple process. And last year, we just love this number. Last year, $2.7 million in saved fees, because it costs about $100 to get a simple tax return done these days, and refunds back into the local economy, back into the pockets of people that are struggling, happened. And we expect it to be even greater this year. So we're very excited about offering that to the community.
You see, Cathy and Clay, this is one of the reasons why I really get excited about being a resident of Huntsville, because every time I talk to people, I learn more about the great resources that are here. And I believe this with all my heart. If there's a question about some problem or some issue or some challenge that's being faced in this community, there's usually an answer or a group of people who are willing to come together to explore solutions to those challenges. That's what makes this community great, and that's what continues to allow the United Way of Madison County to stand apart from so many other groups, because you're out there doing this thing every day and you're seeing people right at the ground level. That's got to be a tremendous asset in terms of selling this community as a great place, as our mayor would say, to live, work, and play.
Yeah, we like just lifting up the entire community with our friends and our neighbors and those that need a helping hand. We partner with a great agency, Family Services, and also a crisis service in North Alabama, to stand up 211, which is a resource number that anybody can call when they've got a difficult question. And it can range from anything from a health issue to a job issue to a question about anything that you can imagine that you just can't find an answer for. You call 211, and we help stand up that organization every day, 24 hours a day, And so it's just a resource that we want to make sure the public knows, just like 411 or 911 are great numbers to remember. 211 is a great number to call just to get help and get answers.
Yeah, and that number is available 24/7. For those that may be watching this show who are out of town, because we do post these things on YouTube, check 211 out in your community, because it's a nationwide network of opportunity to get answers to those problems that you might have. And speaking about getting answers to those challenges or being a resourceful community, you also have another gem. You know, it's like one gem after another when you talk about the United Way. You have another gem. You all have the Volunteer Center.
Yes, we do.
And a tremendous opportunity for people to volunteer and pour back into the community and help you make a difference. Talk about the Volunteer Center and how people can get connected to that.
You know what? I'm seeing this thread, Kenny, because I like to say that United Way is the grassroots organization that connects those in need with those who can help. That's something that everybody can connect to. And we really do want the community to know that this is their United Way. And so the Volunteer Center is another example. It's beyond our collection of partner agencies, those very high quality 29 organizations we're working with. We open that up to any nonprofit in the community to post their opportunities for volunteers on it. We call them needs. And so right now there's about 180 nonprofits listing everything from taking care of animals to the environment, as well as the traditional things United Way is known for in that health and human service area. So it really is, if you think about 211 is the portal to get help, the Volunteer Center is the portal to give help. And whenever we do big days like our Day of Action every year, when we do the MLK Day, we're setting that up in a spotlight so people can easily find those opportunities. And it's very user-friendly. We actually have a Volunteer Center director, Stuart Sinyard, who does an amazing face-to-face job, because we have a few folks that are intimidated by that internet thing, you know, or really don't have the confidence to go on their own. If you're a nonprofit in Madison County, we want you to have an account on there. It's absolutely free, and you can promote the opportunities that you have. You can pull the link off of it and put it in your newsletter, all those different places. If you're a community group that wants to do team building, or maybe the Red Hat Society or whoever that's doing things together, you can come and find team projects there as well. And we love to have groups come and say, we need a project and we're interested in helping seniors, or we're interested in helping young children, or we're interested in health issues. And then Stuart is just amazing at being able to make those connections. Corporate groups too.
Yeah, and I think it's great that there's a source in the community that people can go to and just kind of shop around. It's also great to know that, you know, if I'm a small nonprofit out there, maybe I'm just starting, maybe I'm not as connected as I need to be, that I can actually link up to the Volunteer Center. I can register. I can actually get engaged in my community. I can begin service projects. I can find out about other people who may have similar interests or who I might be able to support. It's just a great resource all the way around that people need to know about, and I'm glad it's a part of United Way. So as we begin to wrap up our conversation, which has been a wonderful discussion, let's talk about how people can find out more about the United Way. I know you have a social media presence and you have other kinds of ways that people can connect to you. How can people do that?
Well, the website, of course, MadisonCountyCares.org is up and running, has been for years. We're getting ready to announce a new website rollout here in the next couple of months. We're going to have a new URL link with a little bit easier acronym to remember, but MadisonCountyCares.org is the website. You can click in there. You can go to volunteer efforts. You can go to donation efforts and needs there. It's going to scroll through and give you a calendar of what's going on in the community. We've got an event coming up in February, but there's always something that's going to happen in March and April, so almost every month. We're planning around May 14th, a block party around the square downtown, and working to get our 29 partner agencies and United Way around the square downtown to kind of show the public these are all the agencies that we work together. So we'll be putting some information out about that when it's all firmed up. So go to the website or just call the office, 536-0745, get you right into the switchboard.
Right. Yeah. And like us on Facebook, United Way of Madison County. And we are just steadily finding new folks finding us every week. And that is so exciting for us because we know that what we did in the cluster of folks that have been so dedicated to us and so committed to us for a long, long time, are just a small segment of the community. And so if you don't know your local United Way, we want you to come and get to know us. And the Facebook page is like the pulse right there on the everyday stuff that's going on. So that's a great place to come and like us and get to know us on a practical basis. And of course, lots of folks are on Facebook, so it's convenient as well.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. We love to meet new people. Sure.
And of course, you've got a great board that's invested in this process and helped to move the process forward. And definitely want to give a shout out to them, because it's very interesting when you think about one's success, whether it's a person or a company, a youth group or what have you. There's never really just one source of that success. It's usually this combination of things that have happened that have brought people together to really strengthen the ability of a company or an agency, in this case, to succeed. And the board, of course, provides a huge portion of that. And I know that you've done some board restructuring and some things that have been done in mind with strengthening their ability to support the United Way in the best way that they can, and being intentional, too, about strategically identifying people who can help you in various sectors of the community. That's a smart way to do board development.
It's a key. You know, what we do is we lay out a matrix of the entire community, from young to old to industry sectors, and we make sure we get a good cross section. But then you find those people with the energy and the passion and the commitment that they want to make Huntsville and Madison County a better place. And Kenny, we got to thank you for your service on the board.
Yes.
Rolling off as board chair, and that was a lot of time on your part. But thank you for continuing to stay on as past chair. But we've got orientation coming up for the new board members to get them really to kind of pull the curtain back and show them what happens behind the curtain, we say. But it's going to be an exciting 2016.
Yeah, well, we're really looking forward to that. And again, tell people how they can connect with United Way.
Oh, okay. I figured out which one's holding the baton, right? MadisonCountyCares.org is our website. United Way Madison County on Facebook and social media. I believe we have a Pinterest and several other sorts of things
Good
with
stuff.
social media. And also our phone number. And that's where you can call to sign up for your cash tax assistance program appointment is 256-536-0745. And we look forward to hearing from the community. Call us.
Cathy Miller, thank you for being here today. Community Outreach Director. Impact Director.
Thank you.
With United Way.
That's a hard thing to
Got
keep in
outreach,
your head.
in-reach, and all these other things in my head. But thank you for being here. Clay Vandiver, President and CEO of United Way of Madison County. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Kenny.
We want to thank you for being a part of our conversation as well. And we hope that you'll learn more about the United Way by going to MadisonCountyCares.org or calling that phone number, 256-536-0745. We hope that you've learned a lot about this great organization. We hope that you'll continue to tune into this broadcast on a weekly basis. We hope that you'll like our Facebook page at Kenny Anderson, or Impact with Kenny Anderson. And we hope that you'll follow along, because that's where we post all of our shows and photos of what's happening in the studio and lots of other information about community events. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. We'll see you again soon.